Welcome to Doing Philosophy. I'm Alan McPhee, and here we are discussing epistemology, providing my reflection in this series. And as I finished with David Hume and Berkeley, and even Locke, the confusion built up. Although I'm giving you a summary understanding, I am giving you a real understanding of these philosophy theories, which you can validate by reading the original text yourself. And I wanted to give some as a takeaway. One of the main things of my channel and one way of my own style of doing philosophy, I call myself a living philosopher because I live philosophy because I'm the real McCoy. I'm a genuine philosopher. I'm not just doing it for academic purposes. Plus, this channel is actually part for academics, for students of taking college philosophy courses, but it's also part for me to share my ideas on various philosophical topics I'm interested in and get some feedback and allow me to clear my thoughts and develop myself over time. But epistemology is extremely confusing. And when you look at it from my perspective, you have to first look at yourself. And if you're listening to me, I want you to think of yourself, think of your mind. Forget about trying to prove someone else wrong, figure out what someone else knows and doesn't know, whether or not this theory is good or bad. What about you? What about you yourself? Because as a philosopher, that's what I'm looking at. Epistemology is sophisticated introspection. I look into my mind and I say, what is an opinion for me? What is a belief for me? What is knowledge? All right. And when I have all this information, all these ideas, some of the ideas are opinion, some of them are beliefs, and some of them are knowledge. And there, I can go even further with these ideas from the work of the epistemologist here. I'm going to have some ideas that are true a priori ideas. I'm going to have some ideas that are true analytical ideas. I'm going to have some ideas that are true intuitively, innate ideas. I have some ideas that are true empirically, and it's become a little more challenging between Locke, Berkeley, and Hume to figure out which way you want to go with those. But there are going to be some ideas that are true a posteriori because I'm thinking about the future. Some idea that are true synthetically, I'm thinking of a whole complex subject. And some ideas that are true empirically. The battle for empirical ideas, they leave out other things. When I see the tower in front of me right now, I can see the empirical truth, the different parts of it, but I can also see the whole tower. That's the synthetic truth. There is no fact about this. This is something we made up, right? I'm seeing a composition, and it's very complex, but my mind grasps it right there. And so, and what's going to happen is in the future, when I come back, let's say I'm on vacation, I see this tower, and I go back on vacation. What's going to be there 5 years from now? I'm thinking a posteriori. So when I look at epistemology, I say first look into your own mental space and ask yourself, how would you classify your idea? This is all about you now, not for you to share out in the world. What are beliefs for you? What are opinion for you? What is knowledge for you? And we're looking at knowledge and looking at the truth of things. How do you dig into these ideas, study them a little more, and try to figure out when something is analytically true for you? 6 times 6 is 36. It's true analytically. Don't need the facts of the world because it's analytical truth. I don't need to investigate anything. The tower is 200 feet high. I need to investigate. That's an empirical statement. Without empirical data, I don't know what the correct answer is. So I would say first reflect on your space and see this happening there. And once you have a sense of epistemology from that sense, you're looking at it philosophically. It's when I know something. Then when you're making a judgment out there, all that information from your own personal experience, when you're looking out there, you're looking at someone else, their speech, their writing, and things like that, or looking at philosophical theory that you're going to judge, you can now use that information to make an assessment without being closed-minded. The most important part of epistemology, do not think there's only one way to know things. If someone makes a claim of truth, no matter how bizarre it sounds, as students of philosophy, you keep your mind open. Understand whatever truth is, it deals with evidence. You don't need to challenge, let them explain themselves. And maybe that so-called bizarre things may turn out to be the correct thing. There's a lot of inventions in history. When the first person came up with it, they were not seen in the best of light. Okay, even the belief in atoms and science was not accepted for quite a while, even though it was long held to be one of the truths of philosophy. So, in any case, I say epistemology is first and foremost about you. And then once you recognize that epistemology is about you, getting clarity of your mind, you don't start standing your way, then you can now look forward. You can study material. You can read other people's work. You can look at them epistemologically. And this kind of assessment of others' works or even their speech allows you to be very open-minded and very careful. And it also allows you to be humble when they're presenting something. You cannot go too far. You realize you don't have access to that kind of knowledge. Like when someone is speaking about quantum mechanics and I see the formulation of it, I was a math major. I know I could, spend 6 months and really get behind the formula. But right now, I do not have access to that. I listen to the explanation of what it is, but the formulation itself, the mathematical formula construct, since I was a math major, I know what it is to know what that formula is and all the theories that's there. As a consequence, I even talk about them with caution within the context of I follow many physicists because I do philosophy of science. And how they interpret a lot of the data, a lot of the explanation, and then then I do my own research, my own philosophy on the topic. So in this sense, you become an epistemologist. There are things you know for certain, and the other things you do not know. And it's okay not to know. It's okay not to know. Knowledge is broad, and there's different ways, different types of knowledge, different types of information, different means to knowledge, and different objects of knowledge. If you can put all that together, although it's confusing, put all that together, I believe you'll be in a good position with respect to epistemology.